So Simon dug back on myth number 9, and that's investors turning you down means there's something wrong with your business. Now, entrepreneurs can be, kind of concerned by their mental health and how they feel about rejection, because as an entrepreneur, you probably get more rejection than you get day to day working for somebody else. But actually what entrepreneurs need to understand is that resilience you build up through it, as long as you hear the lessons and get with why you may be being rejected, can actually help you build a better business. We've seen that perhaps 99% of businesses going through Qodeo who expect that quick fix and that quick funding will actually find that venture isn't for them, because their business doesn't fit the criteria of venture. And people so often hear about venture as being the panacea, but there might be other forms of finance or a hybrid different forms of finance that might make sense. Or it might be timing, because of market booms and busts that can affect whether you can raise money or not. There might be booms, like the AI boom means everybody who thinks that because they've got an AI business, they can get funded. There may also be problems of how you are able to reach out to the VCs. There's a great story of how Alfred Lin, who's a partner at Sequoia in the West Coast, turned DoorDash, the food delivery business, down 6 times before even trying to kind of engage with them. And those guys believed they had a good model, believed they had a good business, and kept on coming back. And there's this balance to be had between annoying people by being too much like a buzzing bee, coming back too often, versus actually knowing that you are right and that match should work and you have to come back. So in many cases, it can take a very long time and the right circumstances to be able to consummate that match. What's your take here, Doug?
Yeah, it sounds perfect, actually. The data show us in the U.S., which is the largest venture capital market in the world, that we have only 0.2% of companies get venture backing. 0.2% of all the businesses that are started up, and it's much lower percentage in other countries around the world. Substantially lower. Canada, Australia, European countries, much, much lower. And so what does it tell us is that, maybe it's not a good funding fit for your business to get venture capital. Maybe it's bad timing that you're seeking venture capital. Maybe there's not much the venture capitalists can do to add value to your company. And so not having VC isn't the kiss of death for you. In fact, there could be better alternatives, other ways to think about it. And the nice thing these days is that with growth in fintech, there's all sorts of different funding avenues that you can consider. And you need not think that it's a bit binary, it's either venture capital or nothing. There's very many alternatives, approaches that you could do to grow your business and successfully finance it.
And often a hybrid of those kind of sources. So you can generate funding now from revenue-based funding. You can generate revenue from debt, obviously, venture debt, which has become a much bigger thing, as well as venture. But the interesting thing is often that people often don't get funded because some aspects of the business don't quite fit those venture capitalists at that particular time. And it could be that this is one of the things that Qodeo Concierge works with entrepreneurs automatically on, and we review entrepreneurs' profiles on, see this so often, is that maybe the entrepreneur has a few parts of their profile of what they're seeking and how they present themselves not quite right. And again, the dating analogy here is incredibly relevant. If you are the same person presented well on a dating app for going out on dates, you may be successful. Whereas if you don't present yourself well, you have a bad photo, for instance, on a dating app, you may not get that match. And it's incredibly similar in many cases in raising money, in that you have to be at the right time, the right place. It's like when somebody is single, they might be more likely to be on the market in the Tinder space. And very similarly with venture, if that venture firm has funding available for you now, they're ready to deploy, and you're early in that fund being deployed, you're more likely to get funded than if you literally came back 6 months later when it might have already been deployed, because VCs have to deploy funds quickly. So all kind of nuances like that about how you have to be in the right market at the right time. And the other thing is also geographical thinking about the regions. I spoke this morning to an accelerator in Iceland that we're giving this very talk to, this very workshop with in May. And the guy there mentioned, well, lots of people in Iceland have ideas and they may get turned down by some of the local VCs, and therefore what are they going to do? And people like us, platforms like ourselves, can help identify there may be other funding sources, and there can often be a problem in being funded by people locally or being turned by people locally when actually what you're doing may be better funded by a venture or private equity firm elsewhere. And that's what we're able to kind of try and open up for folks. And the corollary of that is that I remember being in Mumbai once when a venture capitalist said to me, "Who backed your business?" And I was wondering where the question was coming from. He said, "Well, no, I want to know who backed your business, where you come from." And the interesting question he was saying there was that I want to see that people who know you from your own marketplace have actually backed you, to have that kind of trust factor effectively to back you in future round, because those people know you better than people who don't know you. So there's a lot of kind of subtlety and nuance around jockeying around, making sure your business is fundable. And the other thing here we also see is that don't just make your business fundable by VCs in one particular market if actually that's out of market compared to other VCs. So you often have the problem where an entrepreneur can be funded by a local funder in a small regional market, where the local funders don't have the relationships with those other VCs who might fund you later, or might have a mismatch, so they won't be able to work with them later, and that will actually degrade and devalue your business when actually you need to raise that further funding. So there's a lot of nuance around how this all works.
Agreed. Excellent.